Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the show. Oh my gosh, y'all. My studio audience is so dope. I just thank y'all for being here. You know, I am Tamara. If you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. New episodes drop every Thursday. So come on back through, you know what I mean? And to all my regular supporters, especially those of y'all, I'm pretty sure there are some of y'all who do not even watch you at all, but you like really listen to every episode that I drop. I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you could easily skip these episodes and folks haven't. So I appreciate that. If you're not, you should totally be following me on social media. So my link to all my social media handles is in the episode notes. You should also check out some Melanin Intoxicate merch. We have so many different things: hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops, leggings, joggers, phone cases, different types of glasses and tumblers and whatnot. So check that out. The link to that is also in the episode notes. I think that's the only announcements for right now. Check out previous podcast happy hour, whatever, live streams. The link to that is in the episode notes. Follow all the crew. Of course, we got Khris here, who was also part of the podcast happy hour crew. So follow everybody on social media so that you could, you know, stay with where we're going. But guys, today, Khris and I are here. We have gathered you here today to discuss Youuuu Season 3, Episode 9, which is called
Red Flag.
No truer name was chosen.
Is there like what's a flag with like just mad exclamation points and fucking like asterisks and curse words and shit?
Right.
That's the flag that this episode is.
Absolutely. This was a wild episode, and like I told y'all last time, when shows are very intense and it gives me anxiety, I pause to like prepare myself for what I know is about to happen. And that very much happened this episode. It was crazy. It was crazy.
One thing that remains constant is love. You are a goofy bitch. I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, like, she really, like, I literally need to go to the doctor to have them check my blood pressure, because every episode, like, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack because I want to just scream and, like, punch my TV. Like, I get so upset with her, like, because she just ruins everything.
Yeah.
She ruins everything, and she thinks she's so fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not fucking, she's not fucking smart.
No,
like,
she's not at all.
She's not smart. And her calling herself fixing shit don't never fix shit, and it always ends up bringing and dragging way more people into it than is needed and necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand, like, sis, like, what is the, like what, like,
yeah,
what more do you want from us in my Tyrese voice?
Right. She really, this episode, she really pissed me off this episode. Like, I mean, and she irritates me every other episode, but like this episode was,
I've had enough.
Yeah, I'm like ready for hopefully her to die next week in episode 10. That is,
let's cross our fingers.
Right, that has been the hope. I'm surprised Sherry and Carey are still alive. Like now, today, anyways.
I was gonna say as of 12:32 Pacific Standard Time.
Right. where we're at in the season, because we know
Right.
some of y'all been done with
Finished
this.
it.
Yeah.
And so Josh hasn't been like really watching, but we sat and watched this episode this morning together. And he was like, all right. He was like, so what? Y'all just like not gonna finish it? Y'all just not gonna watch it?
We can't.
I was like, no, we can't. He was like, y'all literally just, he was like, I'm very surprised. Cause like, I just be like letting shit roll. I'll just sit here and just watch shit all day.
This was a time.
This almost made you, but I was like, no, because we're about to record. Now, will I watch it after we get done?
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah. Right.
But
and I usually wait till closer to when we record so that all of my emotions and feelings are like fresh. Yeah. So, but y'all, my gosh, this episode is crazy. But I'm actually proud of the way I structured my notes. I guess it took 9 episodes for me to finally get my notes in a way that I have my major themes. Yes, absolutely. WTF love. Yes, that is the question.
That's the end of my notes.
Girl. But let's go through it. So
all right.
The episode starts with Sherry and Carey in the dungeon.
And we're
cage.
getting I don't like to call it the death cage. I don't know. So we're getting we've always kind of got like a little look into like their relationship, but this week we got like a look into like how they speak with each other, like when no one's around, and like how their forms of like the things that they use as their forms of communication with each other. And I just wrote Sherry and Carey's colored ass flags, like so they were just like, I'm gonna put a purple flag because I'm sensing that you're not being truthful with me, like whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Like, I just think that they're full of shit, just in all aspects. Like even when they're alone, and that was what I was interested to see, because I'm like, I know you guys are full of shit when niggas are around, but like you guys are full of shit in front of each other, just when it's just you two, and that's interesting.
So in my notes, the first note that I have is that their dialogue while in the cage is annoying. And me being someone who is a huge promoter of being mentally, emotionally healthy and healthy in your relationships and working on your own issue, healing, all that stuff. The way that they were talking to each other with these purple flags and all this stuff, it's like, bro, you're not in a program. Like, can you just say, I know you're not being honest, not try to wrap it in this psychobabble?
But that's how they are with each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, you would think that they would be able to peel all that away when it's just them talking to each other. But they're that fake, like that it goes real deep. Like,
but you know what? She would be the type that would say, this is how we have to be. Like, we can't break character in a sense. And that even, I feel like, is confirmed later on when she starts kind of talking to Love about why she does things the way that she does it. So I could see her being the type that is like, if we're not like this alone, even though it's still fake, like it's not, yeah, it's annoying. And then her asking Love if she's holding up all right. Girl, this bitch done almost killed you and put you in a cage, and you're asking if she's okay? Like,
well, we know that Sherry wasn't really being super genuine, and she was acting like,
of course, but the fact that she thinks she's convincing Love,
well, didn't she?
I guess,
she did. I'm gonna go ahead and say
I do have that later in my notes. Yep.
Right. So, okay. So that weird ass conversation with them, and then Theo's dad has Natalie's last moments, right? And we already know that he's had access to all this stuff, but he's like kind of like, whittling down the list or whatever. And he's got a smaller group of like videos to look at. And he's watching the day that Natalie went to the bakery. So he's looking at these videos, and Love and Natalie greet each other at the end on the outside. They go in, and then Natalie's car pulls out as if they had a meeting and she left. It appears to be Natalie in the car. But of course, Theo's dad is just super obsessed with it, and he's watching it as if who's in the car. Because again, we know who's in the car, but visually, Love did everything to make it look as if it was Natalie in the car. But the dad's not super convinced. He's super, super stuck on this. And we'll leave that there, I think, for now. So, Love, because she's the smartest person in the world, she wants to be the person to figure out how to get rid of the Sherry and the Careys. What's their last name?
Conrads.
The Conrad. No, I don't like that. Sherry and Carey.
It's so funny because there was one point later I started to put the Conrads, and I'm like, because it'd be quicker to type.
Right, yeah.
Nah, Sherry and Carey.
Sherry and Carey. So Love wants to be the one to figure out what to do with Sherry and Carey, and in the meantime, she wants Joe to make it look like they didn't try to murder 2 people in their house. So Joe's doing what Joe does, doing the detail cleaning and everything like that. I really need him to come do my car though, but so he does the detailing in the house, so like super spotless or whatever. And then, as we remember, there was 2 suitcases that were brought into the house. One was full with double-sided dildos. The other one was filled with like all bunch of narcotics and pills and mushrooms
and potion.
There you go.
We're overdosing.
Okay, so then Joe's like, maybe I need to keep this case. We can get rid of the dildos, but I think I probably need this case with all these all these things in here that might start a commotion, right? So as he's doing that, he finds a gun. For some reason.
Okay.
And we got to really talk about this because
that is in my notes.
There was no indication that there was any reason for them to have been afraid or scared of them.
Right. Until after they heard her
after they had already been there and heard her say that you made me kill Natalie.
Yeah, so like why my question was why did he have a gun? Yep, that was my exact question because I didn't understand that.
So at first I'm like, okay, so it's probably I'm thinking if it was in the dildo case, maybe you guys are like into some weird like thrill fucking shit. But it wasn't. It was in the case with shit that can like subdue a person and all of this weird shit. So I really don't know why he brought a gun.
And it's a loaded gun.
Maybe it's just always in there, but then like why?
Yeah. Especially
like you're getting people to sign
party supplies.
You're getting people to sign NDAs and things like that. So if something happens to you, you have you know what I'm saying? Like you have who they are and all that stuff. Like, so why would you need to bring a gun? Very interesting. And again, this is supposed to be Sherry's best friend and her husband.
And that's like I didn't understand that.
Is Carey still like kind of freaked out by what happened in the woods, or I just don't know why he would bring a gun.
There's nothing. Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing. I guess I'm just gonna have to settle at it just is always there, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna have to settle at that because, like you said, there's nothing that even remotely gave any type of clue or anything that they were even the slightest bit scared. Like,
about them.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been because you didn't know anything about them.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like it didn't make sense, but I don't know. He's this giving Joe bow and arrows type of guy. So maybe that. I mean,
He just he just be having
some
guns.
people just stay strapped. You know what I'm saying? You
People
just
be
never
strapped
know.
at McDonald's.
I
So
get, yeah. So it's kind of like I'm just gonna have to resolve at that. It's kind of weird in that little small town because Madre Linda isn't like this. Like, there's not a ton of crime, you know, and all this stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna just have to, just settle at that. It still doesn't make sense, but
not
I'm
really.
gonna have to settle at that because,
or we'll be here all day.
right, and then I don't know that we're gonna find out anything in. Now, if we do, that'd be crazy, but I doubt that it's important enough.
I was say that they're not giving me any indication that we're gonna need to know any more else about the gun.
No, it just was there. And hold on, before we leave Joe cleaning, his dialogue within himself the whole time, y'all, is him plotting to leave Love. He's gonna take Henry so that he can be with Marianne, and he's telling Henry as he has Henry in some tent watching cartoons, like, don't worry.
Not see him clean your blood. Like,
don't worry. This is the last time that we're gonna have to do this. And what I love about this, about Joe, is a lot of times even though he's still on some F-boy stuff, low key, but a lot of times when people leave their spouse, they are not trying. Yeah, they leave the kid with the spouse, and they are not trying to. But like, Joe is leaving Love because Love is crazy, and like, he never wanted to be with her at all. And so it's kind of like, I love though that he's making it clear, like, I'm not leaving you with her. We're going to get away from this. Don't worry. We're not doing this again. And he's understanding the importance of his choices, how much they affect his son.
I just got that he was like he was just saying that his mom was crazy. So like, I don't have no choice but to take you.
I think though, because when you factor in his childhood, because we keep getting these flashbacks even more and more throughout this season, I couldn't imagine Joe not making sure that he was there for his child, regardless of Love, because of what he went through. So I kind of tied it more to that. Like, I know what it's like when I didn't have a parent to protect me. I know I'm going to protect my son. So, and his mom, and yes, his mom is crazy, and she makes irrational decisions that could make it to where he could end up in a orphanage like I was. So yeah, I think both of those things are true. It's because of his childhood, but also because his mom was crazy. Because if mom was crazy, he wouldn't be trying to leave.
He wouldn't be trying to leave, right?
Oh yeah.
So Dante with the scoop.
Okay, wait. Can we talk about how I haven't seen Marianne come to work?
I was just about to say that because I was about to be like, all right, so according to Dante with the scoop,
right?
Nobody's seen Marianne.
Like,
nobody. We haven't seen her anywhere. We haven't seen her.
Gosh, I just don't understand. I just don't understand how he's blind, working in a library, checking out books. Like, I don't. Is he completely blind, or is he just like visually impaired?
Had Henry all day.
Like, how do you? I don't know. And I don't know. And y'all, again, in case you're just coming in, I have no problem with this man being blind at all. But
if there is a blind librarian out there, like, can y'all please give us the scoop on like how he's doing all this? How can he? How? I don't think. I mean, I guess if you like knew the blind person, maybe you could like let your kid like be there with them. But like, how are you gonna like change his diaper? It's like,
Khris, no, like that's.
I'm just trying to like, sorry. Like, I guess like if I had like a blind best friend. Like, bitch, if you was blind, like, maybe I would let you watch Guy. But, like, I don't, but, like, bitch, you blind.
Exactly. And here's the thing, y'all. Here is where we drag this out every week since we
Every week now.
found out. Because we didn't find out till episode 7. Like,
that he
7.
was even blind. I didn't even know he was blind, y'all. Like,
and I didn't know it was real until really episode 8. Because then it's like, it's not the costume party anymore. And okay, you're committed to this costume or you're really blind. So clearly you're really blind. But he didn't see Marianne coming to work is what he had told Joe.
He did. He said that. And, you know, Joe's like, well, what the fuck? Like, and he's like, look, because Dante always got the scoop. He was like, look, I have a feeling she probably got some bad news about the verdict. And she goes to this one place. She'll never really go in. Like, but she'll be there, but she's probably not going to talk to you. So good luck. Like, and Joe's
basically.
Like, okay, so can you watch my kid? And Dante's like, of course I'll watch your kid. Bring him over here. And
at work?
At work. So you're babysitting at work.
Because that's the thing too. Dante is an actual employee. Like, he's not a volunteer like Joe.
He gets paid.
Let's not forget, Joe don't really work there, but Dante.
You always love mentioning that
because he really is so committed. Like, it's a paid job. Like, volunteer coordinators want a volunteer like Joe. Like,
he don't need no money. Like, he is here for the love of the books, love of the literature.
Get it. That's what I'm saying. I've never had a volunteer that I've ever seen as dedicated as Joe in all the nonprofits that I've worked. That's all I'm saying. Like, he is like the dream volunteer that you want to come be at your organization. But Dante is at work, and somehow at work, as he's the blind librarian, he can also multitask and babysit somebody's child.
Oh, you trying to read A Wrinkle in Time? Like, hold on, here you go. And then he like changing the diaper at the same time.
Yeah, like he's like
he fucking finding Coco Melon on Netflix and shit. Like, yeah.
How would he know? Okay, see.
Listen, Dante does. There are no bounds. Okay,
clearly he has no limitations. Like, he can do anything. Yes.
He'd have drove over there and went and got her himself if he had time.
Gosh.
But he is at work, so he don't have time.
And he needs to pay attention to what he's doing.
He could have put Henry in his lap and drove him to the spot, just like
Lord have mercy.
Henry's used to that now. Oh God. Okay, so going back to Love and Sherry. So remember, so Love is down in the basement. And Sherry is trying to have this normal ass conversation with Love as if there is not bulletproof fucking glass or plastic or whatever the fuck in between them.
Yeah.
They're talking about preschool entries and like what she needs to do and remember how I was saying, like, I don't know if they really friends. I think they really are friends or were, because it's kind of strange now. But, like, I think they were because she remembered her, like, deadline and shit. Like, she had, like, a deadline to get some information to a person that might possibly be able to get her kid in school.
I think Sherry, what I've realized in this episode is Sherry is the type of person that she's like one of those keep your enemies close. And I'm not going to say Love was her enemy, but Love is obviously somebody she was threatened by simply because she came to Madre Linda already as somebody who's like prestigious and a well-known wealthy family. And so that is the type of person that she would want to have her friend rather than have her against her. And so I think they were really friends in whatever way that they actually know how to be friends. Like, so I do think I wasn't really sure. I just, it's all weird, but I think Sherry gave Love a sense of normalcy of like that rich lifestyle, dealing with whatever, and apparently they're best friends. But Sherry is like, I'm sorry, I don't care if you're my best friend and you got me in a cage. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm okay with what's going on, and like,
Was she doing that, or was she trying to like pretend like she wasn't in the cage?
Okay,
I
I can
think
see that.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what the vibes that I was getting.
Kind of like those people who are like, if we don't talk about it, it's not real.
It didn't
Okay.
happen. It's not
Okay.
happening.
Okay. That's very concerning. But okay, I guess
You're right, but I mean,
that makes sense. And she's
what
like,
isn't concerning at this point?
oh, true, true. But then her saying, mother to mother, in no universe would I ever harm that baby's future.
Right. So
Like,
basically saying, bitch, you can let me go. Because I'm not,
right.
because
I'm not your enemy.
Right. It's not me. Like, I'm not going to leave your kid without a mother. Like,
Because her resource, that as she told Carey when they started arguing, is my friendship with Love is gonna save us. Basically, is what she seems to think, is that, you know, if I be her friend, we're gonna live.
Yep. That's what she thinks. So Theo and Love.
Oh my god.
You were wondering if he left for real.
I know. Clearly he didn't.
And we knew it. We kind of knew.
Right.
Like really leave. So he comes and fucking corners. It's like an alley. Like it's like really like creepy. Like the way he like runs up on her. But like basically he's like, yo, I got kicked out and run away with me. Like I'm so in love with you, bitch. I can't breathe. Like I just love everything.
How am I supposed to breathe with no air?
Can't live, can't breathe.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so he's doing all of this, and then he kind of mentions the video that they saw of Joe hemming Love up, but really we know why he was doing that. We did too. But he says, "Tell me your husband isn't a violent man." And then Love does Tamara's favorite thing.
Oh my gosh.
I should make that ugly little face. And we know that basically she didn't say that he wasn't. And we know that he is, but you can't really explain why he was violent with you. Like, it's so.
But also she's trying to still toe that line of, well, she's trying to convince herself she's just doing it to get information. But like, I do believe she really has some sort of feelings for Theo or whatever.
That's super. She has to, right?
Yeah. So I feel like there's this part where she knows Theo is right, but she can't tell him why she's right. But then she's also trying to, though, manipulate Theo and make just to get what she needs all at the same time, because regardless of whatever feeling she has for Theo, which really she only turns to Theo when Joe isn't giving her what she needs, not excusable, I'm just saying. But the only reason, that aside, her mission is to protect her family. So she, in no universe, but is she gonna leave Joe for Theo ever? So his whole "I love you and I'm gonna take care of you" with your little 19-year-old self, that just really, that whole scene was so nauseating, because I'm just like, do you love her or are you whipped? Like, what is it really? Because
that's because he smashed outside. He never did that before.
Yeah, you done got some a few times, and you're only 19, and she's more experienced. So she just got your nose wide open, and now you in love. What is love?
Right. What is
Baby,
love?
don't hurt me. Yeah, that's what. Ooh. Anyways, we'll get there. Yeah. So he wants her to use the footage to threaten Joe because he thinks he's saving Love from an abusive relationship, which is...
That's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, if you would have known why he was hemming her up, you'd have hemmed her up too. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe finds Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
She is like your normal wino, sitting on the curb in front of the liquor store. She's got a bottle and a brown paper bag in front of her, open, and she's sitting there. Joe, of course, is like, "Oh, my book club is here. Like, what you doing here, girl?
Come
like
on
in front
now.
of a liquor store." So yeah, so we find out that the judge absolutely ruled against her.
Which
But we knew
that. Yeah, when he
this nigga
dapped
him up.
Right.
This nigga dapped up Ryan like after the thing, like that was wild, huh? Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Look at how she wasted her time. She really thought she did something. Did you see how she had all these character witnesses?
She wasted all these niggas' time.
Right.
Okay, so Ryan, of course, won, and he is moving. Where did they say we're moving to? New York?
New Jersey, which is like literally the complete other side of the country, which I feel like, yeah, he got this opportunity, but I also think it's a control thing because he knows that Marianne isn't going to be without, is it Juliet, I think is the daughter's name?
Yeah.
And so I feel like he knows she would follow them and even further isolate her and further like have control. I don't know why they broke up, like what happened, but I feel like I feel like maybe she left him and he's mad about it, of course, and is like, well, if I can't have you, not only no one else can, but you can't have your daughter unless you do it how I want you to do it.
Right. Which is bullshit.
Absolutely.
So basically Joe was sitting there like, look, bitch, like, you don't even understand, bitch. I love you so much, girl. Like, anything you want me to do, bitch, like, I'll do that shit. And he, like, basically broke down and told her about his first kill.
Now, he didn't say it was my first one. He made
didn't
it seem like it was my
one.
only one.
He said, I killed somebody. And I was like, damn, nigga. I'm like, are we doing this? Like,
yeah, I like in public, like somebody could have been walking by and he didn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, fucking winos at the liquor store be like police informants and shit. Like, you can't just be talking.
But what I love about this, before we go further into this, even before he disclosed that, is that he saw Marianne at her lowest and still loved her anyway. Because with Love, once he saw who Love really was, he did not want her. He was like, ugh, oh my God. That's a good
point. He was turned off by her.
Yeah. So again, we've said that this obsession of Joe's with Marianne was different. And I've felt that from the beginning because it wasn't this instant thing. But I feel like that even further confirms it because he saw her like at her lowest. He said, this is beneath you, but not in a judgmental way because he also understood the shame that she felt. And then, like you said, discloses, his first kill, which basically set him on the path that he's on now, trying to protect folks.
And I can't recall exactly, but I don't think that. So for me, I know we're in public and I know it's the middle of the daytime, but that was one of the most intimate conversations I've ever heard Joe have with somebody. Like, and I know that we know that Love knows that he's killed people, but like, I don't think that he's disclosed this to anybody.
No, he hasn't. We only know about it because we saw the flash. Yeah, but we haven't seen him have this conversation of basically sharing the core of who he is and like
with somebody,
so and it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it really did.
Like get Marianne out of her head and feeling sorry for herself and all that good stuff. So yeah.
He also and it's funny because when he tells her that first story, I'm thinking, okay, this is super intimate, and I know that he really feels very strongly about her. But then he also, and I don't know if this is intentional, if this is just me thinking too deep, but like, I was like, that kind of ties in. He told her that story, I think, to tell her to get her out of her head, but also to tie in why he initially butted in. When her and Ryan were in the library arguing, and even if those were not his intentions, I feel like that when Marianne heard him say that, I think that she realized that that's probably why.
That makes sense.
He's the kind of guy that doesn't like to stand around and see women get hurt or mistreated. Which
after you've been in an abusive relationship, that's the type of man that you need. Now, done your healing and all that, so I'm glad she's gotten past. Like, it's actually, despite the fact that he's married and all these things, so take love aside, because we know he didn't really want to be with love anyway.
Right.
But it's actually a really beautiful way for a couple to get together who have been through what they've been through, and like her to come from an abusive relationship, not jump to Joe, because that's never healthy, but she's done the work to heal. She's in recovery for however many years and working the steps and all that good stuff. And she's understands what it's supposed to be healthy in a relationship. So that's why when she found herself lying for Joe, she's like, I can't be doing this.
Do that.
You know, so like they know what they need for themselves for it to be healthy. And then for them to, her having been in an abusive relationship, I didn't even think about that until you pointed it out. And then him saying, you know, I don't go for niggas to be abusing women, and that's why I kill from a young age. I've been true to this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You ain't never gonna have to worry about nothing with me, girl. I got you. It's basically what he was saying without saying it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And you know how we hear things differently anyway. So that's definitely what she heard.
She definitely heard that.
Yeah.
Bitch, basically, I'm down for you, bitch, and I will never let a nigga run up on you again, nigga.
And he did say, I will do anything for you. He did
I wrote that down. Because, so he tells Marianne that he's ending his marriage with love. It's a lot of information that Joe's giving her right now. He asked Marianne, bitch, what do you want to do? Because I'll do anything for you. All you have to do is ask.
That's the Higher Learning, that one song from Higher Learning. and then we cut to the next scene.
Right. Oh, okay. So so of course they smash because that's what she wanted to do.
Can we
go ahead.
Let me talk about this scene real quick.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Go ahead. What are you about to say right now?
After all this pent up feelings and sexual tension and whatever, their scene, I don't know. I just felt like,
was it not passionate enough for you?
No, not at all. I'm just that's how y'all going. That's the first time, after all this, in the library and in the what they think was invisibility hallways of the library, the kiss, the nod. After all that, there was no passion in that. Their first encounter is what I'm gonna call it, and I don't know.
What's the first time they ever smashed? Oh, okay.
All that fantasizing he done did and all that.
You're right.
You don't love, but you have given it to her better than as far as just passion. I don't know. But yeah, who knows? But I mean, I've heard, and I don't know if I've either listened to podcasts where men have talked about this, where sometimes that first encounter, you're kind of nervous because it's you've been fantasizing, which he has been fantasizing.
Yeah.
For however long, and you hear him say, oh my gosh, this is real. He doesn't say, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, but he does say, this is real. This isn't.
Right.
So he probably wasn't, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see them do anything else, but I just felt like in my notes I had, it really lacked passion. And I'm a little disappointed in what he gave her, what they gave each other. I don't know.
What the scene was giving.
Yeah, it was just weird.
I got you.
Yeah. And he's like, I thought I knew love until you and blah, blah,
You,
blah.
like when he be going on his little you rants, girl, he be serious.
And it's always you. Like,
You.
it's not the person's name.
It's you.
He always been just looking for you, whoever you may
Tamara.
be. Right.
You, Tamara.
I put in my notes that he got that. I put GWAP, that good WAP. Talking about I didn't know what love was until you. Oh man!
It's called
Even
being
though
with the black girl.
yeah. Which, you know what's funny? Let's talk about Joe's patterns. Okay, so this is very interesting. And I don't know if this was intentional, but after Beck, when they broke up during their break, he was with a black girl, right? Love is his next love, and now he's with another black girl. I just think that's interesting.
Is that where his heart really is, or
I feel like it.
Like, oh man, Joe.
I feel like he needs a Melon Intoxicate shirt because basically he's saying that black women are so dope. They give him this feeling of euphoria.
Yes, and I gotta stop you for sure.
Yeah, I think I should send. I should send Joe. Right, I should send Joe a shirt. But yeah,
but yeah. So that's an interesting pattern that you just put out there. Mm-hmm. I'm into it. And he got Cardi. He got Cardi B on his profile.
Oh yeah,
picture
on
right
Twitter,
now.
he apparently loves Cardi B. So I feel like I might really. I gotta figure out. I know. I gotta figure out how to send him a shirt. What that would even look like. That would be so dope. Cause and say it's Joe. I noticed. I'm gonna have to explain why. Okay.
And you gotta talk like he be talking.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll work on this.
I made the shirt for you.
Right. And personalize it because I can do that. I mean, I can do whatever I want. Huh? It's a good idea. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, all right. So we were less impressed with the sex. Okay, cool. So, very short scene where they're showing Sherry and Carey. Their shit is falling apart. Mm-hmm. They're starting to not be able to communicate effectively as they were earlier. Mm-hmm. And it's because they're in that fucking cage together. And you gotta think, they both outside of the cage have so much shit going on. Mm-hmm. Sherry's always blogging or posting pictures, and these niggas I don't think really be around each other that much.
It's probably more like a partnership. Like their marriage is a business.
It's a brand or something.
Yeah, a brand, definitely. And they do, and that's why they are swingers, because they know this isn't all that we need, but we are a brand, so we are going to make this work how we're going to make it work. Girl, not them on some Will and Jada stuff.
Girl. Okay.
Not Theo being August Alsina. Not love and an entanglement.
Oh, it's literally what's happening though. Like,
it really is. It really is. Wow.
Oh man. Yeah, it really is. So then love goes down. She gets Sherry to come to the cage, like screen window, and she gets her face ID so she can open up her phone. Love is I'm proud of Love because she's being really short with Sherry And she's
Yeah,
making it
yeah.
clear, like, we're not friends. Like, you're in there, I'm out here. Very, like, giving very, like, I'm drawing a line here because I have to make a decision on what to do, and you're not about
Right,
to cloud my fucking judgment.
right.
And then what happens? She let this bitch cloud her fucking judgment. When I tell you guys, in the same breath that she was like cutting her off and keeping it short and telling her that they weren't friends, she literally just started blabbering away to Sherry. She's telling her about Theo, about what Matthew saw, like everything. Like, what happened in this conversation?
See, I took that differently. I feel like Love made. So the way I took that was Love kind of did that on purpose to make Sherry think whatever. Because ultimately, look at the plan that came from it to out Matthew in her blog. Like, there was no reason for her to tell her that. I don't think that was even a friendship moment. I think that was strategic. That's how I took it. Like, it was strategic because she wanted her to come up with a plan instead of it being all on Love. Like, oh, I'm plotting all this stuff. She would come up with a plan. That's how I took it. Now I could be off.
I'm taking it as, I think that Sherry directed the conversation like she told her husband that she was going to, and saying that I have to rely on our friendship to get me out of here. So I think that that's what she was doing, and she played on it until Love was like, fuck, right now, because I have so much shit going on, I could use a friend. And I think that that's what she did. And I think that Sherry giving her that idea, and I can see what you're saying too, but I think that Sherry giving her that idea was, again, to get herself out of there. Definitely. Because she wanted to help him write the kindergarten or the preschool fucking letter. Like, so I feel like she's playing super hard, just like she said she was, on their friendship to try to save herself.
I definitely believe Sherry, that was her motive. Like, I don't think that was, but
you go back and watch that scene.
Okay.
Because to me, I just feel like Love just gave up too, like, quick. Like, and if that was the plan, then she just did a really bad job at pretending that that's what was happening. Like,
and it could have been, I won't say that. It's like I could see both sides. I don't think that was her initial plan coming in, because we know Love is not a planner. So we know that Love is not Joe. You know what I mean? But then again, I could see where I could really use a friend. I could see that. It's like I could see both sides of. Obviously, we don't know. It's all speculation at this point. It could be something completely different. Like, we just did that just because, and there was no reason. Right, there was no rationale. But yeah, I'll go with that train of thought, though, that she kind of was like, I can use a friend because she has no one else. Yeah.
Okay, so after Marianne and Joe smash, Marianne is basically like, yo, this is it. Like, I got a lot of shit on my plate. I really gotta fucking, like, this has to be it. Like, so it's a farewell. Joe has a flashback. And now what? He got a gun. So again, in the flashback that he shows his first kill, he shoots a guy. And somehow, for whatever reason, a gun just happened to just be in his house. You know what I'm saying?
Which is, I still don't understand.
I still don't know why, but
that is something that I wish. I know we're not going to get closure, but it's something I wish we could get closure on, because,
right. Can you hear that? That's my fucking loud ass dryer. Can you hear that?
Oh, I didn't know what that was. Yeah, I can hear it. But
it does that like every 30 seconds. It'll stop, but I'll just mute myself until then. But so Joe and Love touch base, right? And she tells him about Matthew. And then she tells him about Sherry's idea about the blog. Do you want to tell about the blog?
Yeah. So Sherry comes up with this plan where she's like, yeah, girl, you already know I have a following, which is actually pretty smart. It's what I would probably use my platform for. But I have my platform. Everybody reads my blog because if you're not reading my blog, what are you doing? Which is really how that town really is. And so Sherry's like, why don't you out him on my blog? Because then everybody will know. And then it's like, not only will everybody know, it'll shut it down. And then that way we don't have to worry about Matthew digging for clues and all this good stuff. And it's interesting seeing Carey's facial expressions in the background because he, first of all, he thinks that Sherry is dumb to rely on her friendship with Love in the first place, because he's like, if that was really your friend, she would have told you that she had a dungeon in the basement of her bakery, number one, which is true. But also I couldn't tell if he was like upset about Matthew having the cameras or if it really meant anything at all. But yeah, Carey, I mean, is back there just kind of looking disgusted. Love is like, oh my gosh, yes, that is a beautiful plan. And that is what she decided to go with to kind of get Matthew off their tail, because ultimately it's kind of like if Matthew keeps digging, Love knows what she did, and she does say, you know, oh, he's not going to find anything. That I mean, and he doesn't. But Love knows that if they don't get him from looking, then that's just going to be something that's going to continue to be hanging over their heads. Which ultimately, the whole reason that she is trying to play Theo is to get information so that, you know, she can figure out what Matthew knows and basically stop it so that she doesn't get caught, because if she gets caught, obviously she's going to go to jail and her whole plan to try to save her family is not going to work.
Right. Sorry, the noise is still on.
It'll be all right.
Okay. So, yeah. So, hold on, wait. Oh, okay. So why is Love always turned on by them being a murder fucking couple? Like,
I think it gives her a sense of power, and I only say that because it gave her a sense of power the first time when she killed her brother's molester or whatever, the babysitter. I think that almost like a drug, your first high is always the most intense. And so the first kill, especially, it's interesting, her and Joe both being at young ages, after enduring like neglect and different types of abuse in a sense. I just think that kill for both of them gave them a sense of power that they didn't have, and it just really stuck with them. And it chases, or they're continuing to chase after that in a sense, whether they realize it or not. But I think that who isn't turned on at times by feeling in control, not like in a psychotic way, but like who, maybe turned on isn't the word, but who doesn't feel
excited?
Yeah, that's probably a good word. When they feel like they're in control of something, even if it's like, ooh, I made this outcome happen the way I wanted it to have. I'm trying to take it away from murder and stuff like that, because I don't be out here killing people. But like we'll make it content creator. When I put together the karaoke battle, I feel really good about that, because like I put something together, and then when I get to see it to come to fruition, and it's always better than what I expected, it's like this sense of excitement, like, ooh, I did that. I feel like in a psychotic way, though, that's kind of what Love got from that first kill. Like, ooh, I protected my brother. My mom couldn't even do that. My dad couldn't even do that. Look at what I did. Especially when she's been, I don't like, you hear a lot where twins kind of struggle with like identity issues and stuff like that because I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a twin, but
I always wanted to be one.
I always thought I wanted to be one, especially that one movie with Richard Pryor where they was running the race. It's an old movie that you might not have seen, but there's this movie, I can't even remember what it's called, but there's these twin little black boys. I'm pretty sure Richard Pryor is their dad, and they're somewhere where somehow nobody knows they're twins, and so they're on like the track team running, but they're hella cheating because
one is like up front.
Yeah, one is running, and they're like, I think they're running like the 4x1 or something where they're running 4 laps. I don't know, but I always wanted to be a twin because of that. But I can only imagine what it's like to have somebody that's like, not a sense of competition, but I don't know. Yeah. I think it's weird though how turned on Love is by this.
I think so.
I think Joe knows it's weird and he doesn't want to be turned on by that. Like he knows like, yeah, we just had the best sex ever, but I know this isn't right. So it's like Joe is able to compartmentalize when it's okay to kill, when it's not okay to kill, and is very just meticulous about it. Whereas Love, again, is just impulsive and irrational because she really didn't have to kill the babysitter. She really could have did something else. For Joe, it's like that's his last resort is killing someone. He'll try to like ruin them first. And then if that doesn't work, she goes straight to kill. She don't try to do nothing else but they gotta go. They gotta die.
It's interesting that we are talking about the differences in them because at some point in this show or this episode, I am shocked and appalled that Love is kind of rubbing off on him.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get there.
So Matthew, because of the blog that went out.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's in trouble. He's got to delete all of that shit before people come to his house and see that he's illegally obtained all of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to get rid of everything. So he does get rid of everything, right?
Everything that he had. See, he didn't have everything because when Theo went in there, he went in there to get that flash drive. Not because of Love, but because remember, he said to Love in the alley, we can get the footage, and I know it's not admissible in court, but we can threaten Joe with it so that you can have a clean break because, again, he thinks he's... It's just so funny how
it's
just
hilarious.
Naive he is, that he thinks he's trying to save Love from Joe when really he need to be trying to save Joe from Love. Really,
true shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he even says like Matthew probably is gonna get in trouble, but like that's his fucking cross to bear. Like
yeah. Well, he put him out, so why would he care at this point? And wherever his mom lives, he doesn't want to go there because he said, "I'm not going to my mom's house," which I know we're not gonna get any more information about that, but it's just wild to. Like, I couldn't imagine me being married to someone else and then we divorce and my child would rather be with the person that's not even their real parent than
as
me.
Opposed to me.
Like, yeah.
So I forgot to say that while Love is like touching on Joe. Sorry, I've been watching The Office today. Love was rubbing all on Joe and shit, and she finds a gun.
Yep.
And now she's like, murder-suicide for the niggas downstairs.
And the whole time, Joe is like, she's like, trying to make her think he's along with her. So, like, great minds think alike. Yeah, tell me more, seeming engaged, because he has to, like, be all in with Love or she's going to figure it out. But
he was going to shoot Ryan.
in the back of his mind, he's like, you're so good at this and this is why I'm leaving you, because it's like that's not who he wants to be. Like Love, excuse me, it seems like she's realized like, ooh, okay, this is good for us, and like I feel like she'd be, I don't know, all in just with it. This isn't just about, I think, her trying to cover up Natalie anymore, because I think she really gets off on this power that she gets, and we'll continue to see, you know, as we get to talk about things that happen in a little bit. But I just think that's where that impulsiveness comes from, almost like a junkie, like chasing a high, like, ooh, I gotta have it. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Right. Okay, so Sherry and Love again have an interaction. Sherry is basically blaming Joe for the situation that she's in. And she's like, bitch, you're my friend. I'm not going to let that nigga take you down. And fuck him. This is what she said. Fuck him for making you fix a marriage that never stood a chance in the first place.
And that's where she messed up.
Love was about to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she said that, she stopped in her fucking tracks, turned around, pulled the gun out. She said, basically, whoever shoots the other person can come out.
She was very much on some Saw type stuff in that moment, talking about new game. And this is where, or go ahead.
I was going to say, she says, your marriage is so perfect. Stay together, die together.
And this is where I started seeing that Love really gets off on being in control and just the power, because that was so unnecessary. But we're starting to see like who Love really is, because we haven't got to see that, because like she wasn't really displaying that in season 2. But it just, once you get more comfortable in a relationship, they start seeing like more of who you are. And she feels like, well, Joe's not gonna leave me, and even if he did, I'm gonna try to kill whoever he tries to go with anyway. Right. So like I just felt like that was super unnecessary, but it was a power play for her, because she felt like she didn't have control. She felt exposed, because it's not like Sherry was wrong. Their marriage really didn't stand a chance, because, and Love knows the only reason that Joe is with her because of Henry.
The only reason she's alive.
Or yeah. Yep.
So, cut to Joe in the invisible cloak.
Oh my gosh.
He got some elephant tranquilizer from that weird case that Carey brought to the house. He's like, cool. Because we all know Ryan's on drugs. So he's like, boom, I'm going to go inject him with this. Niggas don't think he had too much fun, and he fucking died. That's the plan. That is a Joe plan.
Yep, absolutely.
I was with it. It seemed clean, cut, precise. I'm with it.
I knew you weren't gonna like the way it went down. At
all. I hated this.
Yes.
Okay, so Joe, I don't know if he's starting to, because Love has him so on edge, I don't know if he's overthinking things now. But he had a moment where he was over assuming things about the way that things were gonna go, and he ended up fucking catching a punch to the face because of it.
See, I don't think he was wrong. I just think I think Ryan just felt someone was following him, just like Ryan saw him in the back of the meetings, because Joe thinks this cap is an invisibility cloak, and it's really not. So I just think Joe is not used to someone being on, because drugs make you paranoid. Like when you do a whole bunch of drugs to the level to which Ryan clearly is doing them, they make you like more on edge. And I just think Joe doesn't understand that. We don't really see him even drink a ton, let alone do drugs. So I don't think he understands that Ryan like felt somebody was following him, and so because
Right.
you're like behind him but not. So like when I'm driving, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody, especially if I'm turning somewhere and you follow me on too many turns, I'm not going straight to my house
Right.
because you might be the unsub. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's how I think. And so I just think he just didn't factor in Ryan being the way Ryan is, because
Right,
Ryan
exactly.
would very, I was shocked he took the elevator too, if I'm honest, because he would be the type that'd be like, up,
I'm
let
gonna
me
use
get
the
these steps.
stairs.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked, except he felt somebody was following him. Now he didn't know it was Joe and at
Mm-hmm.
first, but he felt somebody was following him, so he's like, oh, okay, you want to follow me? All right, I got something for you.
Right. And he punches the shit out of Joe. He's basically beating this nigga up.
Basically.
He pulls his mask, and that he's fighting, and he's like, "Oh, you fucking asshole! Like, I know Marianne sent you here. Tell that bitch like." And he was like, "I'm gonna call the cops." He was like, Joe was like, "Cool, call the cops, but I'm also gonna tell them about all the drugs that are in your car." So of course, that stopped Ryan in his tracks. He's like, "All right, nigga, I ain't gonna call the cops, but tell that bitch that I know that she sent you, and I'm on her ass." Like basically.
Yeah.
And so Joe went and kind of made it worse.
Did he though?
I mean, yeah,
Because
yes,
Joe, well, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, in the sense of the way that he killed him, but we knew he was gonna die
of course.
anyway.
That's
Yeah,
not
no,
my
I
beef.
know. He had to, though. I don't even blame this on Love. I blame this on Ryan because he's trying to stop Marianne from leaving. So
Yeah,
he's pressed for time. Whereas I feel like every other kill, there wasn't this extra pressure that we've seen with Joe. It's like I can't even blame this on Love because it's him not wanting Marianne to leave, especially now that he got that GWAP. You know what I'm saying? He's like, how,
right,
because he had said, how can I stop this from ending?
right.
So I gotta think quick because I don't know when Ryan's leaving.
I hear you, but I feel like just in general, I feel like Love has this nigga way frazzled, and I just feel like if if all he had to concern himself with was the library and his little weird ass fucking inner dialogues. I just don't feel like I don't think Ryan would have got the drop on him. Like I feel like Joe's better than this. And so, because Ryan got the drop on him, this kind of throws off the way that Joe was meaning to get rid of Ryan. So, Ryan says, "Tell that bitch I'm on her ass," and walks to his car. Joe, of course, rushes him, and Ryan falls backwards and falls out of the parking structure in front of the gym where he was working out at. Okay, cool. He had an opportunity, I think, at that point to go down there, stab him with the trank, and be like he was so fucked up he fell over or whatever. But instead,
okay, I have forgot about that. Yeah. Okay.
But instead, he let his emotions take over, and he wasn't thinking all the way through to the end.
Okay.
So with that, so he took away the easier exit and he fucking stabbed him. So now we got to make it look like a fucking robbery, fucking murder, right? And sure, he's dead, right? But you have to remember, you just fucking told this bitch that you killed a person. And the reason you killed this person was because they were hurting somebody else or hindering their life. And now here she is with now a daughter who doesn't have a dad and the way that he died
Did
seems
she have a dad really before?
I apologize. She didn't have a dad. She had a grandma and a mama.
Right.
But now we've got this very, very strange death.
In a town where stuff like this doesn't happen. Yeah.
And after she just heard the news that he was leaving.
Okay, so I had forgot about the fact of what he had told her and like how Marianne could take that or whatever. I had completely forgotten.
And he said, "I'll do anything you want me to do, just tell me." Like, so to me, this is going to hella put much doubt in Marianne's fucking
I was gonna say,
brain.
she pulls a you on you, so when she don't want nothing to do with you because you're a psycho, like you don't want anything to do with love because love is a psycho. That's gonna be very interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, had he let this nigga fall, like, because we can't help that this nigga fell over the parking thing. Like, that's just some shit that happened. Joe came in way too high. Okay, cool. This nigga is on the floor. He had an opportunity to just go down there. It would have taken less than 10 seconds, pushing that shit in him and bouncing.
Because so my notes here, because yeah, he did that because Ryan said you don't have it in you. But I don't blame that on love, though. I still think that ties back to, we don't know what else happened in his child. Like, he was bullied and all, and we see
that's true.
We see that's coming to light. So, like, obviously that's still an issue because he didn't talk about any of that in therapy. So he hasn't processed about any of that. He was maybe 10 years old now. We'll say he's 30 maybe now. So he's 20 years walking around this wounded person. I think, who knows if he wasn't going to do the tranquilizer thing until he might have. I thought he was grabbing the knife to like take it away from him.
I did too.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking he was gonna stab him until he said, "You don't have it in you." And Joe's like, "What? You better ask about me. Let me take my mask out."
He said, "I'm that nigga."
Right. Basically. So, I
won't blame it on love, but I'm going to say that love is clouding his judgment.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
And I can say that, like, this showed me the ability of her impulsiveness to rub off on him.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that you're right that if he only had Marianne and the library to consider, this would have, but we know he doesn't because he's trying to protect Marianne from Ryan and from Love, because he knows that if Love finds out about any of this, this last
you literally can't have nothing around Love.
No, you can't.
You can't have no ounce of happiness if it's not coming from her.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I mean, you can't even close your eyes.
You can't close your eyes for 10 seconds
during sex.
You can't even close your eyes with somebody that you don't want on top of you being on top of you.
That part.
Like, I can't just close my eyes. Like,
I didn't.
We would have still been fighting about this right here. Like, this is real. Like,
but the thing about it is, there is someone else, so that's where he's not good at what he's doing, because, like, he's not convincing her. Like, he's spending all this time thinking he's trying to appease her, but he's not doing what he actually needs to be doing. And then on top of that, you factor in trying to hurry up and kill somebody. And it's just crazy because he just walked away slowly.
And the lady walked out and was like, "Help, someone call the 911."
And you don't even stop.
Nope, you just keep going. So, okay.
Now, he couldn't because he had blood on him.
But here is a thought. Did he walk away like that on purpose so that when the cops come, they're going to pat him down, find out he doesn't have any identification on him, his wallet's gone, and they're going to think, oh, it was a robbery that went bad? oh, you saw a guy, what he looked like. She can't really give him a description of him
at all. She's gonna say he had on a cap.
He had, and it might not. I don't even know if it was a
and
he.
she might not even be able to tell that he had on a cap because it was nighttime.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't. For some reason, I think the way he walked away was meticulous. Just because I like to give him that. Like I think that
he couldn't run away because that makes it look like it was like smart,
he did it, right?
But it was just kind of funny because he's just like walking away, and I'm just like, and he's having his little inner dialogue, like, yeah, nigga, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what I ain't about. I'm about this life.
Right. All right. Let's get into this last part of this episode. It's a lot of shit that happens.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Okay, boom. Remember those videos I told you that were deleted? Theo has some. He is going through them, looking at them, getting different angles that I don't think that Matthew got. And
let's not breeze past that. How do you not think about that? Like, how do you know all the video footage that you have, and you don't think to look at a different angle? Because you would have been got what you wanted. Now, you're not wrong. Love is the one that killed her, not Joe. But I was appalled, if I'm honest.
Well, Theo did the work, and he looks at a different angle, and he sees Joe near Natalie's car. And so now he's like, boom, this nigga's really got my baby in danger.
Not my baby. The love of my life.
Oh, this nigga really got baby in danger, and I'm not here for it. And so he's like, he calls Love like, bitch, like, I need to talk to you. I gotta tell you some shit. I don't know if you know it, but I gotta tell you some shit. Because the way that Theo's thinking, he's thinking like Joe did this all by himself, right?
Joe is dangerous. Love is the victim. Right. Poor Love, I gotta save her.
Right. Okay. Boom. Theo, because he has a key because they're fucking?
Okay, because I swear I was about to say, do we not lock doors in Madre Linda? Because that's
we literally have to when we have people in the basement.
Because that's the second time, though, that he was able to. No, I guess the first time the bakery would have been open, so that's probably a little different. But yeah, this nigga just walked up in there like it wasn't closed after hours.
Because wasn't nobody there.
Yeah, like, I didn't understand that.
Does he have a key because they're smashing? I'm so confused. Anyway, he gets into the fucking bakery, and I guess he's looking for love. And he
in all the wrong places. Literally and physically.
And so... So he just, because he's been inside her, he thinks it's okay that he could just be all up in her bakery as well. So he's
as a 19-year-old would think.
He's in the closets. He's going downstairs, and we don't want him to go downstairs, you guys.
Nope.
Like, nobody goes downstairs.
Nope.
Sherry and Carey are in the fucking death cage. Carey grabs the gun. He's like, I'm going to save you. I'm going to shoot at something, and it's going to do something, and we're going to be able to get up out of here. He shoots the gun.
Can we pause? Wait. Let's pause before we go further.
Yep.
I do not understand how Theo is walking around in the basement, because, y'all, Theo's down here, and they're arguing prior to this. Is that soundproof?
That's what I'm thinking. No, and I'm going to say yes, because did you hear how muffled the gun sounded?
But how is it that Love has had conversations with Sherry, not with the little sliding, and like could hear her? So like, how is it that?
Oh, because there are air holes in there.
So I don't understand how you didn't hear none of the arguing and yelling that they were doing. Right. I understood how you could hear, but how muffled it sounded. didn't even make sense because since when was that soundproof? Like, let's think
You're
back to
right.
when Beck was in there. Let's think back when to that Delilah. I think that was Eva's sister, Ava, whatever that girl's name is, her sister. Let's think back to even when Joe was in there. Like, it has never been soundproof, and now all of a sudden, or though.
Yeah.
Unless the walls are that, like,
I mean,
I mean,
the walls could just be concrete. Yeah.
yeah, and like a gun is obviously louder than yelling. So okay, all right, because that was in my notes. Like, when did that become soundproof? But go ahead,
Right.
shoots the
Okay.
gun.
Shoots the gun, and he's like, okay, let me figure out this. And then Sherry is like, what the fuck? He shot her ear. I don't know.
It ricocheted off of it is the only
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that
sorry.
makes
He
sense.
didn't shoot. Yeah, sorry. I don't want to have a Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez thing here.
Oh, gosh.
He shot away from Sherry, and it ricocheted and got her in the ear. So she is absolutely positively bleeding. So she's pissed, and she's like, nigga, what the fuck? And so she grabs the gun.
So obviously it's not like she's wounded, but obviously not
dying,
that bad because she's like didn't fall or anything.
Right. I feel like a piece of it might have come off, like the way it was bleeding.
You probably got the tip.
Yeah.
Like, not like she lucky it wasn't shooting her in her face. Which,
that part. Okay. Yeah. So she takes the gun and she's like, what the fuck? And she's holding the gun at him. Like she's about to shoot him. And then who bursts through the door that he ain't got no business bursting through? Motherfucking Theo. So they're screaming at him, like, basically, like, yo, like, let us out. Joe and fucking Love put us here. Love killed your mom, your stepmom. And he's like, no, she didn't. She would never do that. Fucking Joe did it, and I know that he did it. And they're like, no, he fucking didn't. We fucking know. Like, they didn't say, like, she told us, but, like, basically they were like, listen, trust us when we say you can count on us. And
they're not wrong. I mean, they're not wrong.
They have the story. Like,
yeah.
It's because fucking Love told it.
It's just he has the evidence that he has. So he's just, he's not wrong in what he saw. It's just, obviously, there's not footage of her chopping chopper style. There's not footage of her chopping Natalie down with the axe.
Right. Okay. So, all right.
Man.
So when we leave them, it looks as if he doesn't really believe them.
Right.
And it looks as if he just got to lead their ass downstairs and go wait for Love to explain.
Is what I wish he would have.
I wish he would have did that too. So he decides, I guess, to go look for the key to help them get out.
And this is when we see that Joe has rubbed off on Love. I feel like this was the most strategic thing that she's done, and I was actually like kind of proud of her, even though it sucks.
Strategic until she figure out until she have to think what she gonna do with him.
Well, yeah, of course, but she'll figure it out. But yeah, we got to tell y'all what happened. So,
all right. Oh my god. Okay, so he goes upstairs. He's looking for the key, and as he's looking for the key, Love walks in, and she's like, "Hey, bro, what you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, girl, I was literally looking for you. So glad we ran into each other. Like, what's up?" And she's like, and then he goes, "I don't believe them," or something like that. Or, "I don't believe what they're telling me." And she goes, "Wow, what are they telling you?" And then he basically says, what they say, that Joe killed Sherry, but he's like, "I don't really think that happened because I have the video footage that shows Joe, and I don't know if you knew that, but like Joe did it." And so she's like, "Yikes. Here's the thing, bro. I'm just gonna need you to leave town and like never come back. Like, I can't run." He was like, "Cool, come with me." She's like, "Yeah, I can't come with you. Like, I'm a grown ass woman. Like, I literally
what
can't."
part of that has he? I get it that he's only 19, but like, what part of this has he not understood? because he's only 19.
So you want, because you want to run away, and then I'm about to take care of you and shit. Like, I'm the only person with a real job, my nigga. Like, what's happening? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
You come in here for free snacks because you always forgot your wallet, but
right, and now you're trying to get me to run away.
And I'm rich. Like, she don't even need that bakery.
That part. Okay, so they're having this conversation. She's like, "Hey, but I can't go with you. You're gonna have to just fucking bounce. Like, your dad kicked you out of your house, so you ain't supposed to be here no way. Get the hell out of here. Don't fucking come back. Do you fucking understand? Do you promise me that you will never fucking come back?" He's like, yeah, I promise. I thought that she believed him, but then I was like, nah, this is love we're talking about here. So she calls him back.
Wait, because we got to go back. Okay. I think she believed him until she saw that he didn't believe her. We have to talk about this because he still had the keys. And she's like, you need to give me them keys. And he looks at her like, okay, like, are you going to, oh yeah, I'm going to let him out as soon as you leave. Mm-hmm. The look in his face, I don't know if it's...
Because how much sense did that make?
Exactly.
Oh, that's so crazy because I was literally here to let them out right now. So like, once you can't see me no more, then I'm going to let them out.
So I think in my notes I have that he had the same look of disappointment that Joe had when Joe realized who love really is. And I think in that moment, he realized who she really is. Like, I think in that moment, he might have considered that she might have had something to do. Like, he looked hurt how you look when the love of your life, as he says it, is not who you thought they were. And I feel like because love is very perceptive. So once love realized he doesn't believe me, I think then she realized, okay, I can't let him go. I think she actually was going to let him go until she realized he didn't believe her. Then it's like,
it was a stupid lie.
Yeah.
It was a stupid lie. Mm-hmm. So he goes to walk out, and she calls him back and knocks him out.
Like, and it makes me sad because it's like he was just trying to, like, he didn't have to die. None of these people have had to die. Like, really, the only
Ryan had to die.
Yeah, I was just about to say the only justified, I guess, kill, because now the kill count, it's still love 2, only because these other people ain't been killed yet. It's still love 2, and now it's Joe 1. Joe has gone this entire season not having a body. I thought Theo, well, until we realized he don't care about love and he's in love with Marianne. But earlier, I thought Joe was going to be the one to kill Theo.
Me too.
But I knew Joe was going to kill Ryan. Like, I knew there was no way for Ryan to not die just because of how controlling he is, and Joe just ain't going for that. Somebody trying to ruin anybody he loves life. But the way Theo got killed by the woman, or he's probably not dead yet, but it just made me so sad because he died trying to save someone. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. He died trying to save somebody that didn't even need to be saved. And if he would have just...
I mean, he was in love.
I know. He was not in love, though. He was
in love with
love. I'm sprung. Girl, you got me. Got me doing things like... Yeah. So, like, it's so funny how many songs we sing that literally have nothing to do with the show. But listen, when the spirit moves, I got to sing.
You gotta move with it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, guys. So
that's it.
There's so many loose ends that need to be tied in this last.
Now we got
episode.
3 bodies in the basement. Because I'm sure but he dead. Like, so she knocks him out, but then he fell down the fucking stairs. Like, his head is cracked the fuck open. He is bleeding out. He's dead. Yeah. There's no way. unconsciously dragging him into.
So
I'm sorry.
then I'm wrong because I forgot about that. So the body count is Love 3, Joe 1. And it's really
Two possibles.
I knew Theo was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Sherry. I wanted her to die, but then the way she's actually gonna die, it's just messed up because it's literally Love's fault. Same with Theo. It's Love's fault.
All of it's Love's fault.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess had she not have killed Natalie.
Our story starts with her overreacting. Like,
yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's it, y'all. We got one more episode left.
Oh, guys, man, and then we gotta wait however long. I really have to figure out. I gotta craft this way to send the actor, but it's for Joe. He sent Cardi B something from Joe, so I feel like it's not off for me to send something to Joe,
right?
And be like, I know, so I gotta work on this because that would be one. It's hilarious, but it's a pattern that I've noticed in this show, and so yeah. So guys, this has been Youuuu season 3 episode 9. Like, it was a lot. So a lot happened this episode, which makes me know that a lot is going to happen in this last episode. And I know there's going to be a season 4. I've already seen that. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I expect it in the next 3 months. I'm just kidding.
Man, I wish.
I know, I wish too. I wish, but we know it's not gonna happen like that.
Yeah. So guys, make sure that you are checking out all of Chris's information in the episode notes. Check out her shows. Make sure you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and be healthy in your relationships. This episode, by the time y'all hear from us from the Youuuu tip again, Christmas will have passed, so I hope you guys have a great Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, have fun with your families. I know family gatherings can be stressful, so if you got a pregame, do what you got to do to be able to make it through. And then the holidays are just hard though, because some of y'all, this might be your first holiday without a loved one. Gosh. Anyways, yeah, so just take care of yourselves, and we will talk to you guys soon. We have one more episode left. It's crazy, y'all. But we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...